you already worked on the BlockDrops, your podcast channel for almost 3 years. What are the three most important takeaways? What are your key lessons?
Wow, that's a big question. I think consistency, the fact that I never missed a week, kind of, everyone that listens to the podcast kind of expects that it's going to come out on the weekend. So I think that is kind of a one aspect that if you're consistent, you're going to build your audience organically, and you're going to see the traction, and you're going to see even cross-pollination, like people asking me to go to their podcasts, like we're doing now, me going to events, and even companies reaching out to me saying, hey, I heard your podcast. Can we have a call? I'm having this type of situation that I wanted, your advice on. And I'm a consultant, so I always try to kind of upsell my skills and my knowledge to companies and clients. So I think that's consistency is something that is, you create some form of predictability. So I think that's also a kind of a factor. Then I think you need to be true to what you know. There's a lot of things that I don't know, and I said it in some shows that I studied enough to do the episode, but I really need to keep digging in to learn more about so and so subject. So I think being truthful to what you are and who you are and what you know, and I think we're all learning. I don't think that there are experts in this industry. You just know a little bit more than someone else, and there's obviously someone that's going to know about a specific subject more than you, and that's the whole. I think being very authentic is kind of a one factor I think that counts. And in the interviews aspect, I mean, in Block Talks, if I try to set up a call with my 88 guests one at a time and steal an hour from them, I probably wouldn't have 88 guests having a call with me. But if you call them and say, hey, I wanted to interview you for my podcast, they will come because they are interested in sharing and scaling their reach. So if you're in a call, it's just one-on-one. But if you're in a podcast, you're broadcasting your message to multiple other people that will then benefit from your knowledge, but also will now know you and get to know you through that. So I think this kind of exchange of interests really and knowledge is what makes the format so powerful, because I've had access to people that not in my wildest dreams I would be able to speak to, and they willingly came to the show. So I'm very grateful, and because of this kind of community that kind of builds around what I do with the podcast, it opened up a lot of doors for me personally and professionally. So I think, the whole community and people aspect of it is kind of a serious takeaway from 2.5 years that I've been doing this.
I completely agree with you on all those 3 points. I definitely think podcasts open up a lot of doors. Because before I was always on the core team member or the founding team member side for crypto projects. So naturally I have a lot of connections. But after I started creating my podcast channel, and after I started to reach out to people to ask them, do you want to be on my podcast channel? And I received a lot of positive feedback before and after they have come onto my channel. And I think this is a very supportive process or nurturing process, because not only I'm learning more by myself, but also I'm learning more from other people. And the more I talk to people, the more knowledge I accumulate. And then people are going to see you are actually trying your best to deliver useful information to the broader audience. So they will admire your efforts too.
I mean, that's the whole point about being genuine, right? if you're really trying and if you're being genuine and asking the questions that will add to something, I think, why not give away 1 hour of your time? So yeah, I fully appreciate that. And also it's an exchange, right? I mean, you're not just like, it's not just a microphone. There's two people actually having a conversation and coming up with
Meaningful
insights
conversation.
and,
Yeah.
agreeing or disagreeing, but it doesn't really matter because what you're having is like human interaction, which is, always what we kind of go for, right?
Yeah, of course. I think being a podcaster or a YouTuber, talking to different people, you have to be very curious about different people's personality, their background, so that like you can get a genuine conversation. If I'm not naturally interested in those kind of things, I wouldn't be a good host, I think.